The man, who is a colonel, curled up in the narrow rock crevices. His body is close to the icy rock wall, and even his breathing is deliberately suppressed. On the gentle slope 300 meters below the mountain, the soldiers of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard are holding flashlights and carpet-style investigation and search. At this time, only the last survival device left on the man, a small positioning transmitter, has been uninterrupted from the moment he entered Iranian territory, allowing the US military satellites to transmit precise coordinates, but he cannot be sure whether rescue will really come. He does not know that in 4 minutes, an extremely difficult and high rescue operation in the history of US Special Operations will arrive at his hiding place. The story goes back to that late night 35 days ago. Trump launched a large-scale attack on Iran without congressional authorization or any diplomatic warning. Military strikes in just 12 hours. The US military launched nearly 900 airstrikes, long-range attacks from the continental United States, B-2 stealth bombers, F-22 Raptors, F-150 billion fighter jets, and cruise missiles launched by 6 destroyers. At the same time, Israel launched a saturation attack on military targets in Iran from the western border. At the same time, Israel launched simultaneous military operations from the western border, forming a trend of attacking from east to west, causing Iran to fall into a predicament of being attacked by the enemy. In the first minute of the military operation, Iranian Supreme Leader Khamenei underwear was hit with precision strikes at his official residence in Tehran. Many ships of the Iranian Navy in the Persian Gulf were hit and caught fire. Radars, combat missile production bases, and Revolutionary Guards command centers at all levels were destroyed within 12 hours. Iran immediately took countermeasures. The complete blockade of the Strait of Hormuz. This narrow waterway undertakes 1/5 of the world's oil transportation tasks. As soon as the news of the blockade came out, the international crude oil price soared overnight, followed by Iran's launch of hundreds of ballistic missiles and dispatched thousands of suicide drones, while attacking Israel and the military bases of the US, military in the Middle East and other regions, and armed groups in southern Lebanon also reopened the front line. The military operation that the US government claimed would end in 4 weeks quickly evolved into a multi-line consumption station with no end in sight. Just as the war entered its 34th day, Iran successfully shot down a US F-150 billion fighter jet, which belongs to the British Lakensis Air Force Base. The fighter jet is performing a ground strike mission in southwestern Iran, and a set of previously claimed by the US military that it had been completely destroyed. The Iranian air defense system suddenly opened fire. The missile directly hit the fuselage of the fighter jet, and the fire instantly engulfed the cockpit. The 2 pilots pulled the ejection handle at the same time and were ejected into the sky at a speed of 640 kilometers per hour. It finally landed in the mountainous areas of Iran. In less than an hour, Iranian state television broadcast photos of the war and the wreckage of the plane. It can be seen in the picture that the distorted metal fuselage, the ejection seat stained with soil, and the clearly visible US military force logo. The White House of the United States immediately activated the highest level emergency response. All officials involved in the decision-making knew that once the pilot was captured, he would immediately become the most powerful bargaining chip and propaganda tool in Iran's hands. As long as he appeared on the Iranian TV screen, the entire military operation, the basis of public opinion, will completely collapse. Fortunately, after a pilot landed, he quickly got in touch with the headquarters. The coordinate information was sent back to the headquarters in real time. The 161st and Special Operations Aviation Regiment of the US military, which was able to execute the killing of bin Laden, took off urgently within minutes of receiving the order. The Iranian army opened fire immediately after finding it. Both helicopters were hit by ground fire, and many crew members were injured. But the rescue formation did not choose to retreat. They successfully picked up the first pilot, or the smoke rushed all the way north towards international airspace, while the other pilot, the colonel, was never able to determine the exact location. The pilot was hit violently when he landed, and his left shoulder was rescued on the spot. He lay on the ground and did not move. After assessing whether the surrounding environment was safe and confirming that there was no immediate danger, he immediately got up and ran up the mountain. This white parachute was the most obvious target. If he stayed for 1 more second, the risk of being triangulated by the Iranian army would increase by 1 point. In the dark night, he leaned against a boulder, endured great pain, and completed the shoulder reset by himself, and then climbed to the top of the mountain with his bare hands. At the top of the ridge, he found the ideal hiding place. The angle of the mountain fault was just enough to avoid it. Detection by aerial thermal imaging equipment. After he squeezed sideways into the depths of the rock, he activated the positioning transmitter and started the only thing he could do, waiting for rescue to arrive. Down the mountain, the Iranian side launched an unprecedented large ship supplement. Thousands of Revolutionary Guard soldiers gradually advancing from the crash site in a dragnet style. Every intersection checkpoints were set up, every passing vehicle, and every village was carefully searched. Local officials spoke on television in person, calling on the local people to search the villages and pastures, where they lived overnight. A large number of civilians with weapons and hunters from nomadic tribes all joined Sushan's team. After 18 hours, the search circle became tighter and tighter. The Iranian soldiers were less than 10 minutes away from the pilot's hiding place. At this moment, the CIA took action. They did not choose to send planes again. Instead, they adopted a tactic that has never been publicly proven before. The CIA's cyber warfare forces directly invaded the Iranian frontline commander. The real-time command system being used sent a fake intelligence. The intelligence said that the Americans had been found, and the US military was leading with him. He fled in a convoy to the Iraqi border in the northeast, asking for the immediate mobilization of all troops to intercept. This false intelligence contained a lot of realistic details and was sent out through the Iranian intelligence department and trusted internal channels, which instantly triggered the entire front line. Command confusion. The few troops closest to the pilot all turned around and rushed to the road on the border. Using this precious time window, the reconnaissance satellite of the Love Bureau locked the pilot's location. Not a general area, but the rock crack that is accurate to a few meters. After reading the coordinate report, Trump issued the final rescue order. At 2:19 a.m. on April 5th, dozens of US warplanes took off from multiple bases in the Middle East at the same time and poured into Iranian airspace on a large scale. F-15 and F-16 fighter jets are responsible for capturing the system air power and provide cover, electronic warfare aircraft. All radars and communication systems of Iran, just full-band jamming. Plug-and-play integrated drone carrying precision-guided missiles, forming a tight killing circle above the pilot's head. Any no authorization to approach the target at this coordinate will be destroyed immediately. The Black Hawk helicopters of various troops rushed in at high speed against the mountains and valleys, and when those Iranian convoys that were tricked to the border were rushing back, they were all blown into fireballs by the attack planes that were ambushed in advance. At 3:51 in the morning, the pilot finally heard the familiar suspense roar. He held the rock wall a little bit and moved to the edge of the crack, turned on the infrared signal that only night vision goggles could see, and the lights pointed straight at the sky and fell back. It took only 90 seconds for the rescue team to descend to the ground. Although the pilot was almost exhausted at room temperature, he still held the shoulders of the rescue team and walked towards the helicopter step by step. The moment they ascended the throne, the Iranian soldiers had climbed on foot. On the hillside, the drones above the head immediately opened fire, and a burning wall of fire was blown up between them and the rescue team. At this time, the pilots, who were completely exhausted, finally boarded the helicopter. In the early morning of April 6th, Trump issued a brief statement announcing the success of the rescue operation. This 48-hour rescue operation, the US military successfully rescued 2 pilots with high-tech equipment and minimal cost. Until now, the US official has not released the colonel's real name. He is just a code name, ordinary soldiers who once hid in the rocks of the Zagros Mountains.